question time with Dr. Tim. Dr. Tim, today's question is, when was the last time you changed your mind about something?
30 seconds ago.
Oh. Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't going to feed my dog, and then I decided to feed my dog.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm joking. I think that I've been doing some thinking around this question, actually, because I was watching Gary Vee, and they said to him in an interview, they said, well, we have a video of you in 2012 where you said exactly the opposite. And he said, yeah, I know, I changed my mind.
Right?
And they're like, well, yeah, but you're on video saying that. He goes, yeah, I thought more about it. The world changed. I changed my mind. It's like, because we now have video, once you've said something, that's your stance.
Oh, you're establishing a position?
That's your position, right?
Yeah.
If you're a politician and you ran on a platform in 1975, then why are you saying a different thing now? Well, because it's not 1975 and I'm not the same person I was in 1975, so I have a different idea now. I have a different thing. I got educated. The world changed. I just think that we've gotten in this mode of it's not okay to change your mind. For goodness sakes, I can't even imagine if my brain now at 58 was thinking what I was thinking at 28.
Oh, man.
At 28, I was an idiot.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And so for people to hold you to that and go, well, you said back then, I know, I was an idiot. So I think we change our minds all the time, and I think we should give ourselves permission to change our minds all the time. You and I have talked about this a lot in theology and philosophy. I have this philosophy area in my house that I go to and go deep once a day. And I literally will read things that make me feel like fingers on a chalkboard because they're so different than anything I've ever believed or grew up or thinking about. But I think that's how I grow, is I make myself read it as if it were true and say, I'm going to put myself in that position and think about that. It's worth thinking about. And then sometimes that leads to a change in thought or a change in mind, and I think that's growth. I think the mistake a lot of people make is they come up with a set of beliefs and they just get more and more and more and more bought into it. And there's a triangle. And if you think about the triangle, it's called cognitive dissonance, right? And cognitive dissonance basically means that you and I believe something different. And because we believe something different, you grasp onto that belief even more strongly. And I grasped onto mine more strongly. We were at the top of this pyramid where we were pretty close together and we could have a good conversation. But over time we do this, and now you're so strong over here and I'm so strong over here, we should go to war and kill each other.
Oh, man. We see a lot of that in our world.
Right? And that's what happens. And that's what happens if I start social media following only people who believe what I believe and say what I say and think what I think. Then this intellectual conversation we were having where we can be friends and completely disagree on something but talk about it in a friendly way becomes a thing where I can't even like you because of your beliefs now.
Yeah, I feel like institutional thinking is not possible. There's institutional belief, right? And then if you want to think, it has to be an individual endeavor. You cannot think at an institutional level.
It's very difficult, right? No matter what the subject is, right? Right now they're talking about vaccines, and because I'm a physician, everybody will call me and say, hey, do you think everybody should get the vaccine?
Sure.
As soon as they say the word everybody, that's a problem, right? Tell me about the specific person we're talking about. We're talking about an 18-year-old high school athlete, or are we talking about a 75-year-old obese person with COPD? Because my answer is going to be different, right, in those two circumstances. So whichever subject we're talking about, coming up with an answer that fits the whole subject doesn't make any sense. It's the problem with trying to solve a problem by creating a rule.
So let's look at the opposite side of that spectrum. When is changing your mind too often too much?
Yeah. My wife would be better to ask that question. Kidding.
Oh, damn.
I'm in trouble.
Super in trouble.
I'm in super trouble now. I don't know the answer to that, actually. I think probably when and we see people do this all the time, when you float from one thing to the other because you just won't stick with the project long enough, it's difficult to know, have I tried this long enough and now I'm just not going to be successful, or I don't like it, I don't want to, and I should switch to another thing? Or is it just that I'm running into the hard times that I'm supposed to run into, and I need to power through these hard times?
Oh man, that's why is the most important question, especially in this
Why
context.
Are we doing it?
Why?
Am I in that little dip? Is that what's called, the dip?
Mhm.
That book? Am I in the dip and I just need to power through the dip? Or is this just something I should? Here's what's going to happen to every single person if you have kids and if they play a sport. 3 days in, Dad, I don't want to go back.
Right.
I hate baseball.
Right.
I thought I would like it, but I hate
It's
it,
not for
and
me.
I want to quit.
Right.
And as a parent, you're stuck because you're like, I don't want to force my child to do something they literally hate. I want them to understand that if you decide you don't like something, you don't have to do it. On the other hand, I also want them to be responsible, and all of our parents told us, you started it, you're going to finish it, right? Caught between those two things,
Sure.
and knowing when to do which things. I'm not even saying I have an answer. Knowing when to do those two things, even in your own life, is this the thing I just need to power through because I'm in that place? Or is this the thing that I really should just change my mind and go do something else? And that's, I think, the juice in between there.
Yeah, I think the juice is a perfect way to say it. I mean, it's really a gut check for so
Yeah.
many people, and really, what really always strikes me in my mind is just as long as I can answer the questions of why do I feel this way about it? Why is this outcome turning into what it is?
Why did I start it?
Why did I start it? And why is this goal or this thing that I'm trying to do or this decision that I've made or this belief that I have important to me? And if I can answer all of those questions and still have a different opinion or a different thought or a different mind, then it's okay for me to change my mind or not.
Yeah, and I think that when you ask the question, when do we change our mind too often? I think we tend to run into a problem and want to change before we really give it our full all. A marriage is a perfect example. Run into a problem, let's get divorced.
Right.
Well, you've been married a long time. I've been married a long time. You're going to run into problems.
Right.
You're going to run into some big walls. And if you have to be able to give it everything. I don't have a dog in the fight whether or not two people should be together. But I do think people separate faster than they need to without both of them getting some help, doing some thinking, and trying to power through that before they just separate.
Yeah. Thanks, Dr. Tim. Don't be afraid to change, and also don't be afraid to not change your mind.